Hey guys, it's Seth with Stage Right. Today we are going to do a David Gilmour style lesson. So basically what we're going to do is, rather than going through and showing you note by note some of the solos and riffs that he's put into Pink Floyd's music, I'm going to teach you more of his style and his kind of his techniques that he uses to really give you more of an idea of what he's doing on the guitar rather than specifically the technicalities of what to play. Because there's a lot of subtleties that David uses that make him the guitarist that he is. So first things first, we're going to go over some of the effects to use to get that long sustaining sound that he always seems to get. And the first thing is you're going to want to use an overdrive. You're going to want to use some sort of distortion or overdrive. If you use like a muff drive, then that's going to be very close to what he uses on a lot of the older stuff. But yeah, anything with some overdrive and some distortion, that's going to just bring out that sound a little more. And the next thing that you're going to want to use is some reverb. And you'll hear this a lot in whether he's playing clean or dirty, that he's going to have a lot of reverb, and it's going to sound like that kind of arena reverb. So if you've got something in excess to that, throw that in the loop too. And then the last kind of main effect that he uses a lot is delay. And that's kind of an important one because that's where he'll get a lot of sustain, and you'll hear the notes, just kind of ring out more. And when you mix the delay with the reverb, that's where, that combo really, that's a David kind of sound. And if there was one more effect that I was going to throw into that mix, this is more of a subtle one, but it would be a compressor pedal, because again, you're going to get more sustain with that, and you're going to be able to allow those notes to ring out a lot longer than most people. So that's where I would start. But then the next thing, there's some technicalities. There's one technicality to, at least in my experiences with playing with David's stuff, is that he adds a couple extra notes outside of the pentatonic scale that kind of help emphasize the chords that he's playing, or just give him a little bit of a darker kind of sound. So I'm going to go ahead and run through, and I'm going to do this in B. So if you're playing like the Comfortably Numb backing track or something, you can use all this for that. But I'm just going to go through and show you the notes that are extra that you can use there. So one of them is going to be on your bottom string, and normally your pentatonic is here. But one extra note that you can add is going to be right here. So it's going to be on your 9th fret rather than the 10th. So that's one thing that he'll utilize a lot, like what I just did there. Play the note and then go back a note and bend up to that note. And then maybe bend back down too. So that's one note. And then the other place that you can do it is on the G string, and it would be on your 6th fret. So again, it's just an extra note outside of the scale that allows you to do a couple bending things and sliding things that really kind of give it a little bit of a darker tone. And there's a couple other things that you can add too if you'd like. One of them would be on your B string, if you wanted to add on the 8th fret. So that's another note you can add, and then you can also find that note up here on be the 10th fret on your A string. So yeah, those are just, it'll make it a little bit darker sounding, and that's kind of David's kind of signature, is he likes to be very dark and melodic with the way that he plays. And that brings me to another point, is his melodic character. When he's phrasing, he's playing, sometimes he's repeating notes just for the sake of mixing up. You know, normally you'd run through a scale, but he might do it. You know, he's adding in some of those pauses and weird, you know, slide points to where it just gives him more of a signature style. And it's a very sought after sound, and you'll never sound exactly like David, but I hope these tips can help you sound a little bit more like him. So phrasing is a huge thing. Try to mix it up and do things that you normally wouldn't do. You know, throw in pauses between notes and maybe hold on notes longer than you normally would, rather than just trying to speed through the scales, because he's not a speed player by any means. But one other thing that's very signature to David is the way that he bends, and he's got a very subtle approach to it, and he likes to utilize multi-fret bends too. So rather than just bending up, he might bend up an extra half step on that just to add a little bit more to it. So he might do something like this. So those are kind of the main things that David uses, and that's how he gets the sound that he does. So I hope that this was helpful, and I hope you guys can take away something from this, even if it's just one little thing or one little part of it. But stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching.